Hi, this is a quick video to show you how to change word segmentation in the spreadsheet mode. So this is a document that was edited by Budge, and often when we run Budge material through our natural language processing tools, the word segmentation is not correct because Budge segmented words differently than we do today. And we follow Bentley Leighton's um, principles about binding and bound groups and what words are bound together in Coptic. And so our natural language processing tools expect bound groups based on those principles. So the beginning of this document actually looks pretty good in terms of word segmentation. I did find an error down here, and you'll see the word is should be the bound group should be n at tolm, so spotless, and the preposition, turning this into an adjectival phrase, basically. The at and the tolem need to be together as one word. However, we do annotate that at as a morpheme on its own because it derives from older Egyptian that people sometimes want to be able to find and study and research and connect to previous versions of the Egyptian language. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the token layer the same because we have these tokens of n, at, tolem, but we need to fix the bound group layers and the word layers because the word is at tolem. At is not a word, it's just a morpheme, it's a prefix. So to fix the bound group layers, we need to unmerge these cells by clicking on this yellow button above the spreadsheet. And then, because this is all one bound group, we're going to copy tolm and put it, at the end of the bound group there. All right, so the bound groups, after we've done that, we're going to then merge those cells, right? Because each span is an annotation of the token layer. So not tolm is one bound group, not tolm, right? So the bound group has these merged cells that correspond to the individual tokens. All right. Then we need to fix the part of speech, lemma, original, and normalized word layers to also reflect what are true words. So the lemma layer, I'm actually going to do the original and normalized first. So at tolem is the word, right? At is just a prefix. At tolem is the word. Having a little trouble with my cut and paste here. And we're going to fix this. It normalized it to a yacht, and we don't want that. We just want at tolem. And then the lemma will also be, and there's only one part of speech, noun. Be sure that these cells, when you're going to merge them with what's above, that these are empty, no text in them, right? So this is one noun, at tolem, one word, one lemma. What we do need to do is then in the morph layer, we give at tolum in whatever's the corresponding token layer, right? So because this is the at is a morpheme we want to annotate so that we know that it exists and we know we can track it. And it's different from any other alpha plus tau letter combination, right? It's a very specific Egyptian morpheme. So in the morph layer is where compound words are broken down and where these prefixes, these prefixes like at, minute, and others exist. Okay, so there we fixed that bound group and that word. Be sure whenever you're doing this that it doesn't mess with any of the other layers, like especially like these line layers, or if you're working on a manuscript column, and also page break layers, so that all those spans stay correct. Here further down is an example of where the NLP has missed a second person feminine singular form. So here we have you who, and then asked him, but it has missed the alpha, that's the past tense affix, and then the row that is the second person singular. So we're going to need to make more rows so we can break down our ayatai, which is really 3 words. I apologize, my Coptic pronunciation is not the best. So we're going to click on the row below it and add 2 rows. The verb is going to go down there. And then the row is going to go here. And then we're going to look and we're going to make sure that the, nothing was messed up in terms of the line break. And we've got then to break this down also with the bound groups are correct, but the span is not correct. So we need to unmerge and then merge that whole span for the bound group. And then here we have the relative, that's probably correct, but this is definitely not a particle. So for the original layer, we can just copy and paste from the token. And for the normalized, whoops, sorry about that. One sec. For the normalized layer, we can paste, but we want to get rid of that over dot over or that overscore over the iota. And then for the lemma, it's going to be the alpha for the past and ta for the second person singular feminine, and then the verb. And then we've got past auxiliary, we've got subject pronoun, and we've got verb, and that verb is Greek. It's a Greek loanword. So we're going to be sure here we annotate it as Greek. So that would be how you would add rows. Likewise, if you needed to delete a row, right? Let's say the NLP broke it up into too many um, tokens and you know, put them back together and you end up with an extra row, you just delete the row with the red. The green is to add, the red is to delete. And if you make a mistake, go up here, you can hit the that curve backwards arrow to undo if you need to.